Alright, well, here we are again with this. Millions are unemployed, but businesses cannot find people to fill jobs they need filled. Many of these businesses are raising the wages they're offering or offering sign-on bonuses. I could tell you the places around where I live definitely are doing that. Some places say if you come work for us, if you stay with us for 90 days, you'll get an extra $1,000. Obviously, this is to prevent people from just getting the job, taking that payout, and then quitting. So they require them to be on for 90 days. So that's fair to do that. But it still is not working. They cannot fill those jobs. Unfortunately, businesses just cannot compete with the government when it gives people money for nothing, when the businesses will require you to be actually productive, and you're going to need to put some effort in. It's an easy choice for a lot of people to make. They'll take even a little bit less money if it means they get to sit around, because the troubling aspect for many people of receiving a paycheck is that on the other side of it, you have to get up and you have to give up some leisure time, and you don't get to do whatever you want anytime you want to do it. Until government comes in, of course, and gives you a bunch of money taken by people who do work and who are productive. Now, reading through some leftist reactions to this is pretty revealing as to how economically ignorant they are. I have seen on numerous occasions leftists say that with all this demand for workers, shouldn't the free market be pushing up the wages they're offering? Well, first off, as I mentioned before, it is to some degree, especially when you consider the sign-on bonuses being offered now, which is a sizable chunk of change. Is that enough to appease the leftists, though? No, of course not. But isn't it funny? I've seen these leftists say that this looks terrible for capitalism, and this is what you get with free markets. A bunch of wage slaves that businesses exploit and refuse to pay them a living wage, etc., etc. Now, this only begs the question, which is, what planet have they been on for the past year and a half? What is even remotely free market about the government absolutely crushing and annihilating businesses and forcing closures or forcing capacity down to less than half for businesses, which at that point you might as well just close the business. No way to survive with those kind of mandates going on. A year and a half of that insanity has been going on, and leftists want to talk about the free market as if we have that at all anymore. This is so far from anything resembling a free and open economy, it's tough to even reason it out with leftists like that because, again, they just don't seem to be on planet Earth. You also get the whole, well, if a business can't afford to pay whatever, $20 an hour, let's say, then they shouldn't be in business anyway. Well, okay, then they'll just pay $0 an hour because they can't afford to be in business, and that opportunity no longer exists as well, and society itself suffers as whatever product or service they might have been providing is now gone too. And isn't it strange that these people who complain all day long about the dog-eat-dog nature of capitalism, which isn't even necessarily true except when it comes to firms competing with other firms. But leftists don't like that. They don't like the dog-eat-dog mentality, or so they say, because then they will say things like, as I mentioned before, you don't deserve to be in business if a hike in the minimum wage puts your costs over the line. Well, then this is weird because I've never heard anything more of a dog-eat-dog mentality than this. These leftists are essentially saying, after a year and a half of government pummeling you to the likes of which we've never seen in the United States, if your profit margins are too thin and you can't afford to pay people more, you no longer deserve to exist. Real great society these people would create. I gotta tell you, they sound stable, and they certainly sound like they've thought this all through. I am being completely sarcastic, of course. Oh, and one other odd thing. When the leftists say that if you have to shut down because of a minimum wage hike, then you deserve it. Isn't that a bit of an admission on their part? Because all day long we hear them say the business is thieving from the workers. They're exploiting the workers. But when they say things like that, it seems to suggest that they actually do recognize that the businesses really can't afford those wage hikes. So I guess it isn't that all business owners that don't pay a certain wage are evil, greedy exploiters of labor. Some of them just are not filthy rich and don't have tons of breathing room, and they need to be cautious. I thought leftists sympathized with that type of plight, but apparently not. But anyway, that's all for now. Like, subscribe, and please share this video. It's hugely appreciated, and take it easy.